Join me on a journey to embrace your Kavela life.
So coming into our yin practice in child's pose. And slowing everything down. Extend the arms forward. Let's walk those hands over to the left side off the mat. Maybe the right palm rests on top of the left. Feeling a deeper stretch along that right side body. Feeling that right hip ground. Take a nice deep inhale. And then exhale, let it go. Walk those hands back to center and then over to the right. Feel a nice side body stretch along the left side. Maybe that left palm rests on the right. Going a little deeper here. Deep inhale in. And exhale, let it go. Walk those hands back into center. Inhale, let's float up through tabletop. And then let those hips slowly make their way down, coming all the way onto the belly. Extend the arms forward. Let the forehead ground. Notice how you feel in the shoulders, the tops of the shoulders, the upper back. Nice long neck. From here, slide those palms alongside the chest. Press back into your tabletop. And we're going to come into our melting heart. So walking the palms back under the shoulders first. Check in with the knees. Make sure they're not too wide. Knees come under the hips. And gaze forward. Slowly start to walk the palms forward, keeping the hips stacked over the knees. Let that chest drop. Maybe your forearms come down, maybe they stay lifted. So just do what feels good for you. Feeling this nice shoulder opener, upper back, chest opener. Maybe the forehead grounds. Maybe you gaze forward, lowering the chin. So just slowly ease into this. Searching for that edge, that point of resistance. And when you find it, just hold there and breathe. Not pushing, just being. Stay with your breath. Nice, deep, steady breath. I'm holding here just a little bit longer. Try to take a nice deep breath, nice deep inhale. Exhale, let that chest drop a little lower. And then slowly let's release, floating the forearms down, the elbows start to slide, the hips lowering down onto the chest. Take those arms alongside the body, palms facing up, and turn the head to the right. Just getting a little neck stretch in here. Just relax. Let the entire body melt into the mat. Let everything go. Relax the jaw, the brow. Gently bring the head back to center and just let it turn to the opposite side, this time grounding the right ear. Close the eyes. Let the shoulders fall. Slowly turn the head back to center. Circle the arms forward, reaching towards the top of your mat. And then slowly just slide those forearms in, coming in for a Sphinx pose. So walking the elbows underneath the shoulders, create a little base here. Take the legs, maybe mat's width. Find your Sphinx pose. And keep the gaze straight ahead or close the eyes. And check in with the shoulders. Relax the shoulders. Nice long neck, long spine. Once you feel pretty settled here, maybe start to pop that chest forward and lift through the crown. And just noticing the sensations in the lower back. Maybe slight compression here. And take the intensity out in your yin practice. Just try to soften if you can. Breathe. If you feel a lot of fatigue in the upper body, you could always slowly lower the chest down and then come back in. Relax the glutes, the legs, the shins, the feet. From here, you can come in to some different variations if you'd like, or just stay right here. If you want to transition into seal, start to float those elbows up and the forearms up off the ground. And then once you get there, just again check in with the shoulders, the glutes, the legs. Make sure you're not tensing up. And then notice where those sensations shifted in the back, the spine. From here, if you're in seal, slowly float the forearms down, elbows down, come back to Sphinx pose. And then maybe gently just bend the knees, floating the legs off the ground. Maybe bring the big toes together. Keep lifting that crown to the sky. And then slowly float those legs back down. From here, we're going to come into a different variation. Bending the right knee and just slide that knee towards the right shoulder, the right armpit. So you can stay lifted here or come into a more relaxed position, stacking the wrists, the forearms, and resting here. So we're just going to stay here for about a minute and then switch to the other side. slowly slide that right leg back onto the mat. Maybe come back into your Sphinx pose here. Get yourself centered. And then bend that left knee. Draw that knee up towards the left shoulder. And stay here, or come down and let those hips sink closer to the ground. And just stay with your breath. And then slowly start to slide that leg, extending back, coming back into Sphinx pose. Take those palms outside the chest. Float up through tabletop, around the lower back, and just make your way into an extended child's pose. Maybe the knees are wide here. Sinking those hips to the heels. Inhale, float up. We're going to come into saddle pose. So if you have any knee issues, just be really mindful, and this might be a little too intense, but you can just stay seated like this, hips over the heels, just sitting tall. If you want to go deeper, maybe slide those heels out along the outside of the hips. You can stay right here. So just stay here for a moment and just notice where you're feeling any kind of sensations in the hips, in the quads, in the knees, in the front of the feet. If you feel pretty good here, you can take it a step further, coming towards the top of your mat, and start to make your way onto your palms first. Maybe start to come down onto the forearms. So if at any time wherever you are gets to be too intense, too much, just slowly make your way back to where we started. If you feel like you can go deeper and lowering on to the back. So if the knees flare up, if the legs adjust, that's okay. Just allow yourself to settle slowly. So we're not going to stay here too long. Maybe just taking some nice deep breaths to help the body relax, ease into wherever you are. Maybe taking 5 more breaths before we release here. Let the breath go deep. And then slowly, let's make our way out the same way we went in. Start to walk back up. Using your core strength. Make your way back up onto the palms. And then let's come back up onto all fours. So making your way back to tabletop position. Stacking those palms under the shoulders. Step that right leg back. And then the left leg coming into your plank pose. Just stretching that out. So a little counter stretch here. And then lower the knees. And make your way into a little extended child's pose. Inhale, float up. And let's come into butterfly pose. So finding your way to a seated position, grounding those sits bones, and if it feels good for you, you can always use a blanket underneath the hips to elevate you a little higher. So just coming here for a moment. Let those knees drop towards the ground. For a deeper stretch, draw those heels closer to your center. And for a more gentle stretch, let those feet slide away. And just notice how you feel here. If you want, start to fold forward if that feels like something that would feel good on your body, or just stay here. It's okay to round through the upper body, soften. Slowly release. Take the palms behind you and then ground the feet. We're just going to windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Just a little loosening up counter stretch here. And then let's come into an extended leg forward fold. So extending those legs, or actually maybe bend the knees. Take the hands to the feet. And then gently come into your forward fold. So again, just ease into this. If it doesn't feel good for you to have the hands to the feet, you can always slide the arms just alongside, bringing the palms alongside the legs here. And gently let the chest drop towards the thighs. If you have a blanket or a block or a bolster or a pillow, you could always bring that underneath the chest too, to just offer some support for the upper body. So really getting a nice stretch in the lower back, the mid back, the glutes, the hamstrings here. Wherever you are, just soften and breathe. Slowly start to release. Walk the hands up the legs. Let's take our counter stretch here, coming into a reverse plank or a reverse tabletop. So reverse plank, bring the legs together, point the toes, bring those palms behind you. Inhale, float the hips up to the sky. Lift the hips up maybe a little bit higher. Opening the chest, the shoulders. And then exhale, slowly release, floating all the way down. And we're going to make our way onto our backs. We're going to come into banana pose. So maybe reach those arms forward, round through the spine, and slowly make your way all the way down. Let those knees float into the chest. And start to feel the shoulder blades grounding the hips. Maybe give yourself a big hug here. And then release. Let's extend the legs out. And keeping them close together. And just come to totally connect your body onto or into the ground. And close the eyes. And from here, banana pose. So taking the legs over to the right side of your mat, actually making your way off the mat. So just start to walk the legs little by little. Walk those legs, both legs. Maybe they're gonna come off the mat, maybe they're not. Try to keep the left hip grounded. So think about a banana shape or a crescent moon. And inhale, float those arms up overhead. And then little by little start to bring those arms over towards the right side. So creating that banana shape, crescent moon shape with your entire body. Maybe take that right hand, right fingers wrap around that left wrist, drawing that left arm up overhead. So this is a nice side body stretch here. Also, you can go a little deeper if you want to try. Cross the left ankle over the right ankle. Left foot crosses. So that's just an option to go a little deeper here. And just notice how you feel in the hips, the lower back. But again, don't push or make this more intense than it has to be. Let it be, let it feel good. If it feels good, maybe turn the head, gazing over to the right. You might feel a subtle lengthening in that left side body, the left hip, the left lower back. Relax the upper body, the shoulders, the neck, the jaw, the face. Relax the hands, the fingers. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Feel that breath flowing all the way into the lower back, the hips, the legs. And let's slowly start to bring ourselves back to center. So turning the head, if it was turned back, to center first, and then start to slowly move those arms. Release that hand grip if you had it. Uncross the ankles, walk the legs back to center. So making our way out the same way we went in, nice and slow and building, releasing. And just stretch here. Maybe notice how you feel from the left to the right side. So just take that in. Maybe the left side feels a little longer. And then when you're ready, let's take it over to the left. So walking the legs over to the left side of your mat, maybe coming off the mat. So just keep walking until you can't walk any further. Then start to walk those arms over to the left side, creating that banana shape. Maybe this time the left hand fingers wrap around that right wrist, gently pulling that right arm up overhead, feeling a nice long stretch along that right side. Option to cross the right ankle over the left. And take the intensity out, soften the shoulders. If you're feeling any kind of tension in the arms, the shoulders, you can just take cactus arms, bending the elbows. Make this feel good. Turn the head to the left if that feels good. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Feel that right side body lengthening. Feeling subtle little shifts in the body when we're gentle, when we slow down. And whenever you're ready, let's start to make our way back to center. So turning the head back to center first. Let those arms come back overhead. Uncross that ankle, walk the legs back in. Just take a couple of seconds here. Exhale, let's float the arms alongside the body. Bend the knees. And coming into a bridge prep pose. So just walking those heels towards the fingertips. Let's gently float the hips up to the sky. Exhale, float them down. And from here, extend the right leg up and then cross that right leg over the left. So we're going to come into twisted root. So you can just cross the leg over once. If you can, maybe wrap that right ankle underneath the left shin. So just kind of twisting the legs here. Taking the arms. So think about eagle pose. So eagle legs. And shift the hips over slightly to the left and let the knees drop over to the right. Maybe gaze over to the left here. If twisting the legs is too much, you can always just stack the knees and just come into this little twist here. Inhale, let's come back to center and release the legs. And then let's just reverse that. So that left leg's going to extend up, wrap it around, cross it over, And shift the hips over slightly to the right, and then let the knees drop over to the left. Gaze over to the right. Take that twist. And come back to center, release the legs. Come back to the bridge prep pose. Take the arms alongside the body. Let's just take one more little back bend here, just a counter stretch. Inhale, float the hips up. Exhale, float them down. And slide the soles of the feet together, coming into Supta Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. Inhale, float the arms up overhead. Maybe take that left palm onto the heart, the right palm onto the belly. And just come back to your natural breath. Feel the belly rise, the chest rise, and feel the belly fall, the chest fall. So you can totally stay here or go into our final pose, Shavasana, extending the legs. Opening the arms and just breathing here. Feeling your body ground, melt into the earth. Feeling your mind clear, still. feel free to stay in your Shavasana as long as you like, gaining all the wonderful benefits it provides. If you'd like to join me in closing out your practice, begin to move the toes, the fingers, the hands, the feet. Inhale, float the arms up overhead, and bend the knees. Start to gently roll to your side. Coming into a fetal position, just taking some breaths here. Slowly, when you're ready, just come back to a comfortable seated position. Take the palms to the knees, roll the shoulders back, sitting up nice and tall, crown to the sky. Sits bones grounding. Closing our practice with 3 cleansing breaths. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Thank you so much for joining me for practice today. Thank yourselves for starting your day in a positive and healthy way, making this time for yourself, for your health, for your well-being. Continue to be gentle, kind, respectful, patient with yourself. And may there always be peace in your heart, peace in your words, and peace in your mind. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Namaste.
I hope you enjoyed your journey today. If you would like to see new classes, please remember to subscribe, like, visit our website at kavelalife.com, become a member on our Patreon account. By becoming a member, it allows us to create new classes. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Kavela Life. Thank you so much. Namaste.